What it do? What it do? It's your boy back at y'all with another one. Let's get it on and pop. So, as everybody know, the Cowboys play the Bears on tomorrow, and it's a few things that a lot of people not really talking about. Here it is. You got two coaches that's going up against each other. Two. Ben Johnson, who everybody wanted the Cowboys to try to get from the Detroit Lions. He was the hot commodity at the time, the hottest coordinator out there, up for a coaching job. Cowboys didn't interview him. Everybody was like, why Cowboys not trying to interview Ben Johnson? Why the Cowboys not going after Ben Johnson? They should be trying to get Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson. And of course, I was one of those fans. End up going to the Bears. Bears starting off 0-2. And then you got Schottenheimer, you got Brian Schottenheimer, who no one suspected the Cowboys were hired. Nobody was trying to get Brian Schottenheimer. He was not up for a coaching job. He wasn't highly touted. There was nobody looking for him as a head coach. But yet the Cowboys hired him. So everybody was talking, all the analysts, all the NFL analysts and ESPN, everybody was saying, even fans, was like, why did the Cowboys hire Brian Schottenheimer? He ain't this, he ain't that. He ain't going to do this, he ain't going to do that. Well, Brian Schottenheimer right now is 1-1. Ben Johnson is 0-2. So right now it's looking like the Cowboys got the better end of the deal by hiring Brian Schottenheimer. You know, Brian Schottenheimer was nowhere on anyone's list. Ben Johnson was one of the coaches I wanted to hire, and it looks bad for him over there in Chicago right now. Of course, he can turn it around, start with the game on tomorrow against the Cowboys, but right now, Brian Schottenheimer is looking better. Not to mention that this is Eberflus's back home game. Chicago Bears fired him, and they're probably looking at this being more of a revenge game for Eberflus. But it's going to be the battle of the coaches. Who can get their team more prepared for the game? Who can get their team in a position to win the game? Who can have their team come out with a dub? So you got Ben Johnson and his coaching staff. Not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, Al Harris is over there with Ben Johnson. So you got Ben Johnson and you got Brian Schottenheimer. Which coach is going to call the best plays? Which coach is going to have their team better prepared? Which coach is going to come up on top? And we will see on tomorrow after the game. I think it'll be a good game. No. Like I said in my last show, the Cowboys should win this game convincingly. But everybody knows on any given Sunday, any team can lose, any team can win. We just watched the Dolphins and the Bills. That was a close game until Tua threw the interception. So, I mean, and to be honest with you, I think the Giants are going to beat the Chiefs. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the Cowboys and the Bears. This is going to be, last week was Pickens' coming out game, all right? That was Pickens' coming out game. And now that him and Dak then had that connection, now that him and Dak are on the same page, it's not going to be just Dak looking for CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be looking for the both of them. I like the fact that they take the shots downfield when it comes to George Pickens because he's either gonna catch it or he's gonna draw that flag. And so far, he's drawn more flags on pass interference than anything, and that's good. That because it would be times in years past where it would be like, why they're not taking any shots downfield? Why Dak is not throwing downfield? But in the last two games, I'm seeing more of that. I've seen more in these last two games than I've seen in a while. And even though they say that J.J. McCarthy was the offensive player of the week when they played the Bears the first week, and then they say Justin Herbert. No, not Justin Herbert. I apologize. Jared Goff was the second week NFC offensive player of the week. So it seems as though the quarterbacks that play the Bears end up being a offensive player of the week in the NFC. But those things can change. Hopefully, like I said in the last show, like I hope that the Cowboys defense don't go out and lay a goose egg because it can happen. If Eberflus hasn't fixed this defense, if the players haven't come together in order to get their communication right, knowing where they need to be, then it's going to be a long game for the Cowboys. Because the Bears offense ain't half-stepping. They're not half-stepping. Mind you, we're not going against the type of defensive line that we went against when we played the Giants. This is not that type of defensive line. Though they got some good players on the other side on their defensive line, they're not the Giants' defensive line. And even though Cooper Beebe is out, I like Brock Hoffman being at center. He's a dog. So, I mean, he's going to irritate some people. He's going to get on some people's nerve, get under their skin. I like that. So, I mean, I think it's going to be, I'm not looking at it as being a tough task. It shouldn't be, especially offensively on the outside. It shouldn't be a tough task going against the Bears. It just shouldn't be. I think we got this. I keep saying, even though when we watch games, us as fans, when we watch games, of course we're going to do our little breakdowns. Of course we're going to have things that we don't like or that we didn't like when we watched the game. Of course we're going to have our opinions when it comes to the game. We're going to have those things. Commentators have their opinions. Analysts have their opinions. Content creators have their opinions. Podcasters we all have our opinions. Fans, regular fans, casual fans, they're going to have their opinions. We all have our opinions. But at the same time, when it comes to mine, I still look at the Cowboys as being a good team, a better team than what they were last year. They just got to put it all together. And I believe once they put it all together, everybody will see. See, the expectations are not high for the Cowboys this year. Starting off this year, the expectations for the Cowboys, since we traded Michael Parsons, the expectations of the Cowboys is very low. I like that. It takes some of the pressure off the Cowboys. And I do also like the fact that when people are rooting against the Cowboys, I feel like we play better. I like our odds in that situation. That's just how I feel and how I see it. But I think Pickens going to have a big game. I think CD is going to get his first touchdown of the season. And I think Javonte Williams is going to have a good game. And I think the defense are going to hold their own. I'm predicting 4 sacks, 2 interceptions in this game. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a win in this game. I think the defensive line is coming together. They're playing. Kenny Clark is bringing out the best when it comes into the defensive line, though they haven't been getting sacks. We got 3 in the Giants game. We got 1 in the Philadelphia's game. But at the same time, it's not the defensive ends that's getting that pressure, getting those sacks. Like I said before, James Houston, he has 1. Sam Williams doesn't have a sack. Dante Fowler doesn't have a sack. Donovan Ezewaku doesn't have a sack. Marshawn Nealon has 1. And we should have more sacks because Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs should have a sack apiece, if you really want to be honest, in that Philadelphia game. But, like I said, I think George Pickens is going to have a good game, great game. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb get his first touchdown of the season. I think Dak is going to throw for at least 350 yards. I'm giving him 350 yards. I see 4 touchdowns, 3 to 4 touchdowns for Dak. And a rushing touchdown for Javonte. Maybe 2. Like I said, I got this score 38-13. I have the score 38-13. So with that being said, that alone is at least 5 touchdowns. That's at least 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, we're going to see. Like I said, it's going to be we're going to see which coach is going to call the best game, because that's what it's going to be based off of in this game. This game going to tell you a lot about your coach, whether you're a Bears fan or whether you're a Cowboys fan. It's going to tell you a lot about your coach or coaches, but mainly your head coach. Like I said, we got one who everybody was trying to get, Ben Johnson, hot commodity. Brian Schottenheimer, nobody expected, nobody was looking for, nobody wanted, but that's who the Cowboys hired. So, like I said, to me, it's the battle of the coaches. And I said at the beginning of the season, the X factors for the Cowboys this season will be the coaches. Sorry, y'all. Shaking the screen. The X factor will be the coaches. And right now, the X factors has to be the coach, especially when it comes to Eberflus. It's all about the proper adjustments that he's willing to make when it comes to his secondary, when it comes to getting a pass rush. It's all about the adjustments he's willing to make. Are you willing to put a spy back there on a Caleb Williams that you wasn't willing to do when it came to Jalen Hurts? It's all about the adjustments when it comes to the coaches, the play calling and the adjustments. That's what it's about. That's what it comes to when it's dealing with the coaches. The players have to play. The players have to communicate. And the players have to be able to do the things that they're best at, but it's the coach's responsibility to put those players in those positions. And if you're not going to put those players in those positions, then we in for another game like when we played the Giants. I have no doubt when it comes to the offense. But, like I said, we going to see. We going to see. Watching this game against the Bears, watching when we played the Eagles, watching when we played the Giants, and watching this game on tomorrow playing the Bears, it's going to determine for me what we'll be able to do against Green Bay. And I'm not trying to look ahead, but at the same time, I have to put these things together because of the teams. We've been known to beat the bad teams in the past, play close with the bad teams in the past, play to their levels in the past, just like last week, but don't beat the good teams. I think that ends this year. We I still have us going 12-5. 12-5. In the 5 games that I have us losing, it's not in blowout loss. It's not blowouts. We're not gonna lose in blowout fashion. Just like we lost to the Eagles. And we should have won that game. I think we're gonna have a lot of games like that because I don't see nobody stopping our offense. We got too many weapons on offense. And that's why I say that we're going to score at least 38 points on the Bears because I don't think they have no answer for anything that we have to do on offense. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I don't see them stopping us in no fashion. I don't see us punting the ball until maybe the late third quarter, early fourth quarter. I don't see them stopping us at all. Now, Sweat can get pressure. I don't know if Grady Jarrett is playing. They said he was questionable or whatever, but I don't see them stopping us on offense. I just don't see it. We got too many weapons. And it's a way that we can use Hunter Lipke that we haven't even tapped into yet. It's a way that we can use Hunter Lipke that we haven't even tapped into yet. I don't know what they're waiting on. We just paid them. What's the point in paying them if you ain't going to use them? And if you pay him and you're using him and he's not producing, then, hey, sorry, we got to find somebody else. It is what it is. It happens. It happens. So my players to watch is really not players, it's the coaches. Ben Johnson against Brian Schottenheimer. Well, really, it's Ben Johnson against Matt Eberflus. But for it's just the game managing the game, calling the plays, you got to watch for Ben Johnson and Brian Schottenheimer. Because they're the offensive coordinators of their team. They the one calling the offensive plays on their team. So, that's going to be something to watch. I got my eyes on George Pickens. I got my eyes on this offensive line without Cooper Beebe. Even though I don't think we're going to have any problems when it comes to the offensive line. I just don't see them because the Bears are not as talented on the defensive side as the Giants or the Eagles. And we didn't give up 1 sack against the Eagles, but we gave up 3 against the Giants. So it's a lot of things that you can watch in preparing for the Packers game. Because how we play in this game against the Bears, not only is it preparing us for that Packers game, you'll be able to tell the type of team that you're going to see when it comes to the Packers, because they ain't no slouch, especially since they got Michael Parsons. Like I've always said, Michael Parsons is a great pass rusher. But one thing about it, the Cowboys know Michael Parsons' weaknesses. And I'm quite sure he feels the same way when it comes to the Cowboys. But when I play the Packers, I'm running to his side. Every freaking time, I'm running to Michael Parsons' side. When they take Michael Parsons out, whenever they take him out, substitute him out, I'm dropping back to pass the ball. And that's how I would scheme when it comes to my play calling for the game. I'm going to watch a lot of After this game, well, I'm not gonna look ahead. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I say that for next week because we got the Bears in front of us right now. So watching film on the Bears, watching their first 2 weeks. Um, Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. And like I said, he can make every throw. He scrambles, he take off running. But once he take off running and start scrambling, he start panicking. And he will throw you an interception. He will throw you an interception or two. Like I said, I got us having 4 sacks, 2 picks. And I really feel as though one of those picks are going to come to, if not both, Trayvon Diggs. I think Bubba Dubin lit a fire on the Trayvon Diggs, and he want to prove himself to everybody that he's still Trayvon Diggs. So we're going to see. I hope he does. I hope he does because they're him, Donovan. They had Malik Hooker like giving up a lot of yards, and I didn't see a lot of Malik Hooker giving up a lot of yards. I saw a lot of Donovan. I saw a lot of Kyrie Elam. I saw a lot of Trayvon Diggs. I didn't see a lot of Malik Hooker giving up a lot of yards. Maybe I missed something, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Last week, Detroit played Chicago. Detroit put up 50 on Chicago. Your boy Jared Goff had 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. And yeah, they have weapons, but I don't think when it comes to our receivers, I put my receivers up against anybody's. Even though they got Jameson Williams and they got Amon-Ra St. Brown and they got the tight end, what's his name? Laporta. I'm not even comparing my running backs to theirs because they have Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, so I'm not. But I put my receivers. We got Turpin. I forgot about Turpin. Like I put my receivers up against anybody. And then you compare the quarterbacks. Dak is, to me, a better quarterback than Jared Goff. It's going to be all about the scheme and the play calling. And I think Dak is finna eat. I don't see it no other way. One thing I don't like is when they put Tolbert out there. Tolbert, look, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Tolbert is not it for me. He's not it for me. He run his routes half-heartedly. He don't run hard at all. He wants no part of the blocking when it comes to the run. He wants no parts of it at all. Even when he was returning kicks, I was like, oh my gosh. No. He's not it. And if Mingo wasn't hurt, I think Mingo would be starting over him. I think Mingo would have been our wide receiver 3. Well, I say wide receiver 3 because Turpin does a lot. He does some of everything. They put Turpin at running back. They put him at receiver. He's kick returner. So I would put him behind Turpin, and I would say he's wide receiver 3. Wide receiver 3B, because you can't dismiss Turpin. So I say he a wide receiver 3B. Turpin is wide receiver 3A, and Mingo would have been wide receiver 3B. Y'all, I would take Jalen Brooks back over Jalen Tolbert. We brought Flournoy back. We probably need to see more Flournoy until Mingo comes back. That's probably what we need to see. Because like I said, Jalen Tolbert's not it. And Blue, I don't know. So far, he just ain't getting it. A player who we thought would be competing for the starting position with Javonte Williams ain't seen the field yet. And Brian Schottenheimer said he needs to see consistency from Blue. I don't think he's getting the playbook. I don't think he's learning the playbook like he should. Because he's talented. I think that's the problem, that he's not getting the playbook like he should. I might be wrong, but I think he's not getting the playbook like he should. And why we haven't gave Aubrey the contract that he deserves yet, I don't know. But we need to go and lock him up too. Let's go and get him out the way. Let's go and get Aubrey out the way. We didn't got Bland out the way. We didn't got Tyler Smith out the way. Got Jake Ferg out the way. Got Hunter Lipke out the way. It's two other players that I'm looking at this season on giving them contracts. And it's Brandon Aubrey and George Pickens. I think if George Pickens continue on the path that he's on right now, picking up from last week, I think we've been assigned George Pickens at mid-season. Or a little after mid-season. Maybe right there doing the, well, yeah, I'd say, yeah. Doing our bye week. Just to keep headlines. You know, Jerry Jones like to stay at headlines. So that's something. Along with, like I've said, I feel that there will be a big trade before trade deadline or by trade deadline. I'm really pushing for trade. Something telling me Trey Hendrickson. And like I've said in the past, Minka Fitzpatrick. I'm telling y'all, adding Trey Hendrickson and getting Minka Fitzpatrick would change our defense totally. Those are my dream trades. Those are my dream trades. More of a possibility with Trey Hendrickson. But adding Trey Hendrickson and Minka Fitzpatrick, yeah. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. But we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot to look forward to this season. And the season just started. The season just started, y'all. And we all look forward to football season every year. Season just started. Dak is looking great. The offensive line looking so-so. They have their moments. Defensive line is looking good. Stopping the run. They just need to get better at the pass rush. Need more tools in their toolbox. And if we can get this secondary to look better, that means that everybody's on the same page, the offense and the defense. We just got to get on the same page. We get on the same page, y'all. I'm telling you. There's no limit to where this Cowboys team can go. There's no limit to what this Cowboys team can do. We need this defense to start clicking. Need Matt Eberflus to make the proper adjustments. We need him to use the multiple D that he spoke about during the off season. If those things come together and they continue or show more physicality, I'm telling y'all, this will be a different team. This will be a different year. This will be a different season. This will be a different season. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow on the Cowboys and Bears game. I say that every show to let you guys know. You might be at work or anything to where you can't watch the game. I will be calling the game, and I try to do it play by play. I'm not the sit here and say that I'm an ESPN analyst or NFL Network analyst or none of that. I just do my best and I do what I can, y'all. And try to bring it to y'all. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel, The Next Level Sports Lounge. Again, like, share, and subscribe. The Next Level Sports Lounge. Trying to bring y'all whatever I can, the best way that I can, and as soon as I can. Alright? Tomorrow, live stream. I'll probably start around 3. Around 3. I call the game as it goes, and I'll be on as long as the game is showing. I'll be on live. Okay. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace.